Hello and welcome back to the Bottom Bins. It's like we almost never left, but we did. But we are back very much with a new face, new ideas, a new page, realistically. Certainly if you've seen the content in the last couple of weeks, especially on Instagram, Facebook, it's very fresh-faced, very professional looking. So we are back. We have found the time to come back. Warren, I'll hand over to you. I'll let you tell them a wee bit what we've been at and why have we been anonymous since August 2024.
August 2024. It's a long time when you think about it, isn't it?
It's crazy.
But obviously, look, life got in the way and, we both have full-time jobs. Connor recently got his teaching degree, so congratulations to Connor.
Thank you, sir.
And he's got a full-time job teaching as well. Brilliant achievement. And look, as these things go and life happens, time gets in the way, and time gets less and less. Your free time gets less and less, and both of us got engaged, and just time has moved on for us, and the Bottom Bins kind of went into the back burner. But as Connor says, we're back. We have a fresh face. You look on our Instagram account, you'll see very uniform content. You'll see much better standard of editing quality. You'll see much better standard of articles, and we're kind of, not to say we're back and changing everything, but we've kind of went back to our journalism roots, I would say.
I would agree.
And if you have seen the posts, you would see that we've got a lot of articles up on Instagram now. We've refreshed our website and all as well. If any of you have ever checked it out, and we're back with new ideas and a breath of fresh air. I think with putting a little stress on it like we did before. I think that's probably the way forward.
I think so. I think definitely towards the end, I remember August 2024 especially, it was tough because, again, we probably felt like we were doing as much as we could and we weren't seeing necessarily what we would have liked to have seen from it. I think the content actually started to bog us down. It wore us down quite a bit, the constant editing. Whereas this time around, folks, we're just going to try and keep it as simplistic as possible. Make our lives easier, make your lives easier when you're actually watching, viewing, or looking at the content on your phone. So I think that's really what we're going to try and stick to from now on. We're going to try and get you at least one video a week. That's our Bottom Bins guarantee to you. Me and Owen will be meeting up once a week to record content. Just to let you know as well, it will be me and Owen driving the content forward from now on. It's very much our page, it always was, and we'll be the ones driving that forward. Stevie's going to help out with a few of the social media posts. I'm sure you've been seeing Stevie's pick on the picks of the week, so Stevie's very much going to be still helping out in that regard. I'm sure Stevie and Oisin will probably filter into a few videos, but they won't be regulars on the channel as such. They'll filter in and help out wherever they can, because like we said, we always like to have different voices and different opinions.
And it's needed.
Absolutely.
It's needed.
Absolutely.
And just bringing on to Connor's point there as well, we've reached out to a few people, some different content creators, lesser known content creators, but it's good for them to get their voice out there as well. And we know we're not speaking to the millions here. We're not speaking even to the thousands here. But the loyal supporters we do have, it would be nice for you to hear a separate voice than ours, talking about a separate club than ours, and talking about things that are more than football as well. So we have got a few guests in the pipeline. Hopefully we get one of them episodes out before Christmas.
Yeah, definitely.
But as far as me and Connor is concerned, we're stripping it right back. We couldn't get over the fact that we weren't talking about football anymore.
Yeah.
And personally, between me and Connor, we became coaches, and we were coaching a local football team, and we actually have our final match tomorrow at time of recording. By the time this goes out, hopefully we'll have won that final game.
Hopefully.
And what an experience that's been as well. The boys have been brilliant. It's given us a deeper knowledge of football. It's given us, a real first person insight into football from watching football rather than playing football. So it's been great to have that. And me and Connor, I think for our personal relationship, needed this more than ever as well.
Yeah, I think so too. I think whenever the Bottom Bins finished up, obviously me and you did drift quite a bit. The coaching sort of always kept us tethered together. But look, we're not afraid to say it. We did go through some arguments in the last year, 18 months. Thankfully, though, I would say from August we're absolutely back on track. We're so back. But we are, again, that's probably another episode we're going to bring out to you. Hopefully either before Christmas or just after Christmas, we're actually going to talk about our coaching experience. I know it's a change up from from Premier League football that we normally cover, but I think it's also good for people to get an insight into different aspects of football. You know, we always agreed that some of our better episodes on the bottom bins were always when we talked about outside of the game.
Yeah.
As opposed to the games themselves. Yeah. And I think we're very much going to stick to that structure, to be honest with you. I don't think people care for match reviews.
No.
That was an uncomfortable conversation me and you had to have, because that was our bread and butter for so long. Yeah. But when there's 35 people watching your match reviews, it's a bit
It's demoralising.
It is demoralising. Yeah. It is.
When you're spending so much time making the episode, then editing the episode, you have to come to the realisation, and we did come to the realisation together, thankfully. You know, people's already watched the matches. They don't really care about the matches after it's done. So yeah, we had to face some home truths about the podcast, about the channel. But yeah, look, we're still here for a bit of crack. We're here to have a bit of fun with each other, you know, and talk football like we always did, and talk shite like we always did. Yeah. And yeah, you're going to be part of it once again. Yeah. So we hope you enjoy this episode and join us for the ride.
Absolutely. So I think we'll just get straight into it. Yeah. The format for these videos moving forward, folks, is very much just kind of similar to our This Week in Football series. Now, we've agreed we're not naming these episodes anything. They're just going to be in a chronological order from here on out. So there'll be no 25-26 Premier League season. We're not doing anything like that. We're just going to talk about some of the biggest stories in football for that week, give our opinions on it, and really we're going to see how this goes. We have a ton of content planned. Interviews. That's something we always felt like we never really got the opportunity to do. So we're definitely going to try and bring stuff like that to you. Maybe some more personal episodes between the two of us as well. We're going to try and get a debate series going as well. Again, that's going to require more voices to come onto it. So that'll be further down the pipeline. But I think, Owen, we'll just get straight into what has been a pretty great week for football news.
Oh, incredible, that. Incredible. And there's no better place to start than at Anfield, really, is there?
Well,
Mo Salah, huge news coming out of Liverpool, really. You know, Liverpool's obviously been going through a tough time this season.
Yep.
Off the back of winning the Premier League last year, I think the cracks are beginning to show. Mm-hmm. And I think everybody can see that. I don't think that's a bad thing to say for us. But obviously at the centre of this now is Mo Salah, who has been left out of the Liverpool squad 4 times in total. He was, left on the bench 4 times in total. And recently in their draw with Leeds, which there were 2 goals up at a stage, you know, he came out and blasted the manager, blasted the club, said they threw him under the bus, said somebody in the club doesn't want him there, said he has no relationship whatsoever with Arne Slot anymore. And it's the biggest news in football. Arguably he's one of Liverpool's greatest ever players.
Yeah.
And let's talk about it, man.
I feel like Liverpool fans are living through the situation that we lived through 2 years ago with Ronaldo.
Totally agree.
And now this is just flipped on its head, and rather than it being Manchester United and Ronaldo, it's now Liverpool and Salah. Mm-hmm. It's garnered a big response, both online and in traditional media outlets as well. I think everybody tuned into Monday Night Football, even if they weren't a Manchester United fan, because they wanted to see what Jimmy Carragher's reaction was going to be to what had transpired over that weekend. I thought he got it spot on, personally. I think if it was Ronaldo, if we go back to the Ronaldo situation, I think at the time, obviously we on the bottom bins were incredibly critical of what Ronaldo had done. Could we understand why he had done it? Absolutely. Yeah. But we were very critical. I always feel like in the traditional media, at least, especially these last few years, Liverpool don't get any negativity. I never really feel like pundits come out and there's no negativity around Liverpool. Even though they have been on this barren streak and they've been really struggling to pick up wins this season, I still feel like a lot of the traditional media is like, oh, it's Liverpool, it'll be all right.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like if this is Ruben Amorim and Manchester United, like the wheels have fallen off.
Yeah.
It's the end of the world.
Lead sacked,
Like
everything.
this club is in the pit. Like, so I found it refreshing that an ex-Liverpool professional come out and gave such a strong opinion.
Yeah.
Now, on the flip side of that, I also saw the interview with Steven Gerrard where he was talking about it as well, and he felt like because Salah was such a superstar, you have to treat him differently. I'm not so sure about that personally. There's no denying it. What Salah has given to Liverpool is so impressive. At the minute, and if this is truly to be his last time that we see him in a Liverpool shirt and he does leave in January, I do think he has a really, really strong case to be the all-time starting right midfielder or right winger in a Premier League
absolutely
all-time 11. Yeah. I don't think anybody could doubt that.
No. But
I also think he's thrown the toys out of the pram. Okay, we're talking about being left out of 3 to 4 games. That's 7 days worth of football. That's 1 week.
Yeah.
1 week of your football career you were left out of the side. Does it really warrant a response like that to come out and slam the manager, slam your teammates, slam the club, slam the supporters? People who are very loyal to the football club, especially when you're going through a difficult moment. At least whenever Ronaldo did it, United were performing quite well that season. Ten Hag had actually backed it up because United were winning games without Ronaldo. Same can't be said about Salah and Liverpool at the minute. Liverpool are not winning games, period. So for your best player, and as you said, one of their greatest ever players, to come out so publicly and lambast the club, lambast the manager, I really do think it's poor form. And again, this may come across as bad, I'm not sure. But I know for a fact if I was a Liverpool fan, I'd be pretty annoyed.
Yeah, well look, as you said there, we can liken it to that Ronaldo situation.
Yeah.
I remember even when that interview came out with Piers Morgan, and even thinking about it now, it still annoys me.
Yeah.
It still really annoys me. But I still love Ronaldo.
Yeah.
And I'll never stop loving Ronaldo. And if he was to come back tomorrow, I'd love him all over again, and he'd break my heart all over again, like for a third time. But when I look at this situation now, I can see what you're saying, and I totally agree. It's so unprofessional. It's so unprofessional. He shouldn't have done it in the way he done it. And what Jimmy Carragher said about him going into that press box, or the media scrum, sorry, it's the 4th time he's done it since he's been at Liverpool. Yeah. And every time it's been a bombshell. Yeah. Right? He knew what he was doing. Right? It's not like he was just pushed into this interview and he's speaking off emotions.
It's premeditated.
Yeah. He knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, extremely unprofessional. However, this is one of their greatest ever players. There's an argument for him to be their greatest ever player. When you look at stats, when you look at everything, when you look at trophies won
yeah.
and him carrying them to the majority of the trophies. Now, there's no excuses for his performances. No excuses for his attitude last week as well. But when I think about Liverpool's success, the first person I think about is Mohamed Salah.
Yeah.
I don't think about Van Dijk. I think about Mohamed Salah. He's the one who's won them games. And do I think he has a point when he says that the club might have thrown him under the bus? I definitely think he's got a point. I think everything he said... Now, I would say he was also speaking off emotion. I know it was premeditated, but he's obviously an emotional person as well. But, coming out and saying, oh, in the summer they gave us promises, they gave me promises, and they're not keeping their promises.
Yeah.
We don't know the ins and outs of this football club. I don't think anybody knows what's going on really, apart from the directors, Arne Slot and Mohamed Salah.
Salah, yeah.
And obviously this is a football club that in the summer suffered from a tragic incident.
Absolutely, yeah.
And we know Mohamed Salah was deeply affected by that. So, what I think, is there mental health awareness in the football club? Is this maybe an outcry for change behind the scenes? Or is this a personal change for Mohamed Salah? Do you know? And when I listen to Jimmy Carragher, and I totally agree with you, I agreed with what Jimmy Carragher said.
Yeah.
But if we look at it a wee bit deeper, was it an outcry for change within the club rather than a change of manager, or rather than a change of scenery for him? Or was it, I'm struggling a bit here, both on the pitch and off the pitch. And I need to say what I got to say. And is this going to be the bombshell moment that changes something for me? Is this going to be the bombshell moment that changes something for Arne Slot? Is this going to be the bombshell moment that changes something for Liverpool? Now, I'm not saying this is something that he's this big master plan from him.
Yeah.
And I know they've went to Turin and got a good result. They went to Milan and got a good result against Inter. A dodgy penalty, but they got the result and they got the 3 points.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying because of this here, they're going to start winning. And as you said about Ten Hag, we were getting results last season.
Yeah.
We could have benefited from Ronaldo for the rest of the season, but we've seen how it worked out with Ten Hag in the end up.
Yeah.
Is Mohamed Salah, as a Liverpool club legend, coming out and speaking basically for change behind the scenes rather than change a manager?
I mean, I can definitely see, Oren, where you're coming from. And I do think that Liverpool, obviously, as you've already mentioned, have suffered tragedy in the squad. The City suffered tragedy. Teammates suffered tragedy. It's hard. Like, realistically, who's going to step out in the training field and get over that just like that? It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
But I do feel like, obviously, with a superstar's big ego and the whole idea of this being premeditated, like, I do feel like Salah has sat down with his agent at some point during that 3-game stretch or 4 games now that he has been left out. That was crafted. Some of what he said sounded rehearsed. And I just think, especially for the moment that Liverpool are in at the minute, where, let's be honest, yeah, they might have dug out a result in Milan. Are they going to win at the weekend?
Yeah.
There's no guarantee.
Yeah.
There's no guarantee.
Yeah.
With the moment that Liverpool are in, the pressure that's heaping, the criticism that's heaping, like, let's not forget, this is a club that spent £450 million in the summer.
It's ridiculous. You need your big players.
Absolutely. Oh, and like Wayne Rooney has said it countless times now over the last few weeks, where's the leaders? Who's going to step up? Well, Salah's certainly not going to step up now. I'd be shocked if Mohamed Salah found a way back into the Liverpool 11. In fact, I'd be shocked if he found his way back into the Liverpool matchday squad, let alone the 11.
Yeah.
I do think it's the end of the road for Salah in Liverpool.
So do I.
The only issue is he signed a big contract in the summer. Yes, it was only a 2-year deal, but who's willing to take those wages on?
Yeah.
I mean, the performances this season, there's no denying, it's been abysmal.
Yeah.
Salah has looked a real shadow of himself. Goal scoring threat's not there. I think he has 1 goal in the Premier League.
Yeah.
Like,
crazy.
It's Mohamed Salah we're talking about. There's a guy who consistently put up 30 league goals every year, or at least 30 goal contributions every year in the Premier League. I haven't seen anything from Salah that suggests he's going to go on a run of form here. So the question is, what do they do? Where does he go to? Do they move him on in January? Does he rot on the bench? Does he rot with the under-23s? What happens?
I don't think they can make him rot with the under-23s on £350
a week.
But look, obviously it's a situation that needs solved at Liverpool, and you know, as you said, with everything that's going on the football pitch at the minute, this is the last thing they needed. The absolute last thing they needed.
Yeah.
Because now you've got their directors, their chief scouts, they've got everybody working on how to deal with Mohamed Salah, not how to get a result this weekend.
Yeah.
Do you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for them. Obviously, there's a lot of talk about Antoine Semenyo from Bournemouth, and you know, £60 million release clause. Liverpool's heavily linked, United's linked, City's linked, Chelsea's linked. The top clubs in England are linked. Spurs as well are there as well, and Arsenal are probably there as well. 60 million for a player like that, you can't sniff at that in this day and age.
It's a no-brainer, really.
It's a no-brainer, and especially with this Salah situation, you would have to think Liverpool are probably favourites if they're going to move Salah on.
Yeah.
Right? I think they're going to move Salah on. As you said, as we both said, and it pained us to say with Cristiano Ronaldo, you can't come back from this. You can't come back from this. And now it's different. There was a period there we didn't like Ronaldo.
Yeah.
But time heals everything.
Yeah, it does, yeah.
And if any footballing fans, set of fans know this, it's Liverpool. Time heals everything, right? In a few years, they'll look at Trent Alexander-Arnold differently. I know they're emotional about it, but they'll look at him differently.
He might be a wee bit different, I think.
I don't know, but
he's one of their own. I think this Salah situation honestly hurts less for them than the Trent situation.
Yeah, maybe.
I just think when it's one of your own, like I know for a fact, like if Kobbie Mainoo leaves Man United, that's gonna hurt. That's because that's a player that's come from the academy. You want to see them do well. Trent was one of their own.
Yeah.
Came from Melwood, like won Champions League, Premier League, like did it all in a Liverpool shirt. Really, sold them the moon. Told them he was staying. Celebration. I remember last Christmas the celebration over like that. It's all talk.
Yeah.
And then snaked them and went to Madrid and like that's what it was. It was sneaky.
It was, but they still got 10 million for him. Right?
Yeah,
they got 10 million for him with about a month left in his contract.
on his contract, yeah.
And that was so he could play the Club World Cup. To be fair, I think I would think differently of it if I was a Liverpool fan.
Yeah.
But from the outside looking in, I think he's won everything there is to win with Liverpool. Not many players have the privilege to play for Real Madrid.
No, that's true.
So him getting that opportunity, I understand the circumstances. I understand, yes, he went about it the wrong way.
Yeah.
But I just think in years to come, when they're looking back on Trent Alexander-Arnold in their history,
Yeah.
I think they'll look fondly on him.
Look, they probably will. Now, will it take a bit longer than, say, Salah? Yes, I do think so.
Yeah.
Like I know I think Fernando Torres played in a charity match for Liverpool over the summer. That's the first time he got a nice reception at Anfield. And you think he left, when did he leave Liverpool? 2011?
Yeah, something like that.
Like, that's a long,
and for
long
50
time.
million, by the way.
Yeah,
at that day and age.
exactly.
They're doing all right.
Not 10 million.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? But look, I just think it's an interesting situation. It's going to be interesting to see what Liverpool do in January. Do they move Salah on? Is there a way back for him? Does it make the manager look weak? I think if you can let us know in the comments, let us know your thoughts on it. But we're going to move on to our second.
Just before we move on, 2 words, right? I want a yes or no answer for both of these. Is Arne Slot sacked before the end of the season?
No.
Is Mohamed Salah gone in January?
I'm going to say no to both of them, actually. I'm going to say no to both of them.
Man.
Honestly, lad, I do feel like Liverpool... Look, I think if Slot brings him back, it definitely makes Slot look a bit weaker. However...
But if he starts firing in some goals...
Exactly. You
100%.
know, we're going on a what-if situation here.
Yeah, big time.
If he goes back into the team, and let's say Salah finishes the season with 20 Premier League goals, is everybody going to turn around and go, oh, well, that was the wrong decision?
Yeah.
No.
No, exactly. Yeah.
So, yes, on a what-if basis, yes, possibly. But I'm going to say no to both of them. I actually do think... I think Slot will still be there. I think Slot has enough credit in the bank.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, if they lose every game from here out to the end of the season, yes, of course, he could probably go. But I don't think that's going to happen. I'm still expecting Liverpool to turn it around at some point.
Yeah, so am I. Yeah.
I'm expecting everything to click at some point, and they are going to be good again.
Yeah.
I think, yes, they're struggling at the minute. They're in a bad moment, but I do foresee them coming through at the other side, and I do think they'll... Look, I'm not saying they're going to finish in the top 4, but with the way the league is at the minute, like as poor as Liverpool have been,
they're still there.
You know, they're 6 points.
Yeah, they're thereabouts. Yeah.
They're 6 points up being in the top 4.
Yeah.
You know, so maybe it's not all doom and gloom.
No, it's not. When you look at it from a wider perspective, but it's the same with every club this season. When you look at the Premier League table, 2 wins on the bounce, and you're so back in it.
It's tight, like.
Yeah.
2 wins on the bounce, you're one of the best teams in the league.
Yeah.
2 losses on the bounce, your job.
It's the worst.
You're
gone.
You're gone.
Yeah.
Like, it is that tight at the minute. But look, let us know in the comments, what do you think's going to happen with Salah? What do you think's going to happen with Slot? We are going to move on to our second story of the week. Owen, I'll let you introduce this one.
Yeah, obviously not on the same scale, but we're going to talk a bit about Mason Mount. Mason Mount's had a tumultuous career at United so far, I would say. Injuries have hampered him. I know whenever we first were talking about it on the bottom bins a couple of years ago, we didn't want him. We thought he was overpriced. We couldn't understand the transfer because, especially in Ten Hag's system at the time, he was never going to replace Bruno.
No.
So it was a weird one from that aspect, but change of manager, change of formation, change of style of play, one that Mason Mount's very, very used to.
Mm-hmm.
And his performances are showing. You can see him more confident. Obviously, he's injury free at the moment,
Yeah.
and touch wood, he stays like that. But in particular, we played Wolves the other night. 4-1 victory. Not going to get carried away. It's the bottom of the league. They're the worst team in the league. They're 100% going down.
They might be the worst team the Premier League's ever seen.
They are terrible. Terrible. And yeah, they genuinely could be.
They could be.
Yeah. But when you think about Mason Mount's personal performance, and I even think beyond the performance, I've been looking at his interviews in the last few games. Last week he came on against West Ham and Roy Keane said he looked schoolboy. And I think it's very fair to say that. I think he looked schoolboy when he came on at West Ham. But I think the performance against West Ham was schoolboy from everybody.
Yeah. It was naive.
It was naive, totally. And I think coming on after 80 minutes or 75 minutes, whatever it was, it's tough to get up to speed whenever the rest of the team has already shut off and already switched off and are playing for 1-0, which is a joke, by the way, at Manchester United.
I agree.
At Old Trafford, playing against, again, one of the worst teams in the league.
I agree.
And as we spoke about there, 2 games there, Everton loss against 10 men and a draw with West Ham.
Yep.
We'd have 5 more points if we won both them games and would be within 3 points of the top. Mm-hmm. Which again, I think would be ludicrous for the season that we've went through. Yeah. But anyway, Mason Mount, in the game against Wolves in particular, he started. Every game he started this year, Mason Mount's been one of the star performers.
I would agree. Totally.
Totally. And you can see in his interviews, the one thing that he said that really struck my eye, he said, I've played this formation, I know the pockets of space like the back of my hand.
Yeah.
And you can see that in his game. He's getting into chances, took a beautiful goal from Bruno's cross against Wolves. He's got 3 goal contributions already this season.
Yeah.
Is his price tag paying off, but are we starting to see the benefit of the signing of Mason Mount?
Yeah. I think, it's strange because it's an Eric Ten Hag signing, but Mason Mount's a Ruben Amorim signing.
Yeah.
We said it at the time. I remember specifically, I am not Mason Mount's biggest fan. I never have been.
No.
I didn't like him at Chelsea. I thought he was overrated.
Yeah.
When United paid 60 million for him, I was going to pull my hair out.
Yeah.
Couldn't believe that we had paid 60 million for Mason Mount. However, what I would say is, when Amorim came in last season, I always thought that when Mount played, we looked better.
Yeah.
Now, when I say we looked better, we still weren't great.
Yeah.
But I thought, especially when he talked in interviews about pressing and leading from the front, I think the best presser in our team is Mason Mount.
Yeah.
Especially in those forward players and in those forward areas. I don't think anybody works harder than Mason Mount.
Yeah.
There's one thing I'll always say about him, especially his time in a Manchester United shirt. Every time he's on the pitch for United, he works hard. I don't think I've ever seen Mason Mount come off and he's not busted.
Yeah.
Because he works his socks off. I'm glad. I think I saw the stat the other day. The last three games he's played for United, he's averaging 83 minutes. The last time he averaged 83 minutes in the Premier League per game, right, that he played, was 2019 with Chelsea. So this is a guy that, it'll be coming up on 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
It's been 6 years from he played a full 90.
It's crazy.
Which is nuts when you think about it.
Yeah.
But that's how riddled he's been with injury. Mm-hmm. He hasn't had it easy.
Yeah.
He's had it tough. Let's not forget, this is probably the worst Manchester United team that we've watched in our lifetime.
Yeah.
And he's come out of this smelling like roses.
Yeah.
He looks like one of the best players in the team. And I have to say, as much as I think young players should be given time, I actually think the injury of Sesko has helped United a bit.
Yeah.
And I don't mean to be negative. I like what I've seen from Sesko so far. I know you're maybe not as fussed on him. I think he's a lot neater and tidier than Højlund. Could he get involved in the goals more? Absolutely. I still hold hope with Sesko though. I do think he is going to turn it around. I do think he has more of a natural eye for goal than Højlund ever did. And I do think his link up, especially like the game against Brighton, I thought Sesko was unplayable that day. I thought he was fantastic. Neat touches, holding the ball up, getting Mbeumo and Mount and Cunha involved in the play. I thought he was excellent that day. But I do think his injury has actually helped Mount.
Yeah.
It makes him one of the first names on the team sheet at the minute. The balance, when Cunha plays up front, you have Mbeumo off the right and then Mount off the left. It's three forwards that work incredibly hard. They hound defenders. They want to win the ball high. They want to get United on the counter ASAP.
Yeah.
Transitionally, they're very, very good too. And I actually think Mount has added facets to his game that we didn't see at Chelsea.
Yeah.
I think he's a much better ball carrier now. His passing, especially sort of those line breaking 5 to 10 yard passes, he's very, very good at them now. And he seems to have got his eye for goal back.
Yeah.
The goal against Sunderland this year, unbelievable.
Yeah, excellent goal.
The goal against Palace,
Yeah.
quick thinking, bang, ball in the net.
Yeah.
And the goal the other night, that's the pick of the bunch.
Yeah.
The pick of the bunch. Yes, the assist makes it.
Yeah, of course. But you have to be there.
But you have to be there. And to hit it first time on the volley.
Yeah.
I think he's really, really settling in at the minute. I think Amram's the perfect manager for him. Now, whether you agree that Amram should be the Manchester United manager or not, that's a debate for another day.
Yeah.
But what you can say is, with a player like Mason Mount, Ruben Amram's got it spot on. He's managed his minutes. Mount has only had one injury this season. It was a slight muscular issue. He was fine. He was out for 2 games, I think. But he's fit and he's playing football again. And to be honest with you, with the form that he's playing in at the minute, he probably has a shout to be called up for England.
Yeah.
And if he keeps this form going, let's say Mason Mount finishes the season with 10 Premier League goals, are England not going to take him to the World Cup? I think he would be in with a very, very strong shout.
Yeah.
And England teams that had Mount in them were still pretty good England teams. Yeah. So, look, I honestly wish him all the best. I really, really hope that he stays fit. I really hope he keeps the form that he's keeping at the minute. I do think for Sesko, it'll be tough to get back into the team, especially with the performances from Mount, because I don't think any Man United fan sitting here would want Mount dropped.
Yeah.
Like, if at the weekend Amram says Sesko's in the squad, he's good to go, like, are Man United fans going to be happy if Mount's the one that drops out? I don't think so. With Mbumo going to AFCON as well, Mount's going to be an important fixture over the next few weeks until we get those guys back from AFCON. Look, is he a squad player? Is he a starter? I'm not sure. But I definitely think Mason Mount has a place in Manchester United's squad. And I definitely think with his performances this season, I know next year is the last year of his contract, but he could be talking himself into a renewal here at the minute.
Oh, I agree, yeah. I think he's proven us wrong. He's proven ourselves 2 years ago wrong.
Definitely.
Hasn't proved us wrong, but is proving us wrong.
Yeah.
And as long as he keeps in that trajectory, as you say, there's no reason why he couldn't be called up for England.
Yeah.
He played under Tuchel at Chelsea, didn't he?
Yes, he did,
so, it's a player he knows as well.
Won a Champions League with Tuchel.
Won a Champions League with Tuchel, is right.
In that position.
Yeah.
That left attacking midfield position.
Exactly. So he knows exactly what's the demands of that manager as well.
100%.
And yeah, listen, hope he stays injury-free. Hope he keeps delivering the goods for United. As you said, I'm still not that convinced on Sesko.
Mm-hmm.
I fully agree about his potential. I think he's going to be an unbelievable signing in years to come. I think he's got a silky touch on him. But what you said about Mason Mount pressing, I haven't seen that from Sesko.
No.
You see him walking about. You see him relying on his neat touches.
Yeah.
And I think for a 6'5" striker, you need to be in the box. When I look at that goal that Mason Mount scored against Wolves, I don't think Sesko gets in that position at this moment in time.
He's probably not set in that position. Look, it's the same with Xerxes as well.
Yeah. Oh, he's terrible. He is terrible.
He's just not a striker, isn't he?
He's not good enough. How can you sign a striker? I didn't like Xerxes from his very first interview at United. You cannot sign a striker for 30 million, having done it in Italy. And the first interview says, I'm not a number 10, I'm not a number 9, I'm a 9.5. Connor?
What was it? Was he talking about position or looks?
Oh my God. I was punching my phone watching that interview, lad. It was terrible. Oh my God. It was
scored his debut too. So does the dream.
I was there.
So does the dream.
Yeah, so does the dream. Friday night, first game of the league. Went top of the league for the whole of about 12 hours. And that was the end of it. Oh, what a terrible footballer. I can't wait to see him get shipped in January.
Yeah, well, I don't even think he'll get shipped in January.
No,
it'll be the summer. I imagine he'll get shipped in. Same as
because of AFCON, I suppose.
Yeah, same as Ugarte as well. He'll probably be shipped in the summer too, I'd imagine. But
two players we don't need whatsoever.
No. But listen, it is definitely good to see Mount playing well. It's definitely another option that Manchester United can use. I'm sure Man United fans out there, I'm sure you would agree with us, he's definitely starting to prove his worth, and he's definitely starting to show that he can be a Manchester United player. We just need to see it more consistently. But That'll do on Mason Mount. Let us know in the comments. What do you think? Could he be called up for England? Should he start for Manchester United? would United even consider selling him in the summer? Has he let the club down? Let us know in the comments down below. But final story of the video, Warren.
Yeah, very short one, very quick. We're not going to talk too much about this. I'm not going to get too emotional about this or too biased about this. But Alejandro Garnacho was chosen as the man for the pre-match press conference against Atalanta for Chelsea. One of the reporters asked him, do you have any regrets about leaving Manchester United? Do you have any regrets on how you left Manchester United, and are you sad about leaving Manchester United? And he laughed in the reporter's face and said no. Now this is a boy that we brought from Atletico Madrid, treated him like one of our own. Mm-hmm. I still remember him scoring in the Youth Cup and hitting the Sue at a semi-packed Old Trafford. Yeah. And we talked about being sold a dream with Xerxes against Fulham. This kid actually sold us a dream.
The dream, yeah.
He actually sold us a dream. And I remember his late equaliser against Fulham and all as well. Maybe it was a winner. Was it a winner? 1-2-1.
It was the winner.
Yeah,
the overhead kick against Everton.
Overhead kick against Everton. This is a guy who, really does have the potential to do it all. Was given so much love and affection from every United fan. We all thought he was the second coming of Ronaldo. When he was playing with Ronaldo, you don't get an Argentina man who idolises Ronaldo. Yeah. And idolises Manchester United's probably biggest ever player. Mm-hmm. And you can't not love him. But obviously, we all seen what happened last summer. Yeah. We all seen, Ruben Amorim didn't start him in the Europa League final, and Alejandro took it thick. There was obviously a lot of different things outside of the football pitch with Garnacho, and a lot of baggage with his brother as his agent, and him posting team leaks and all that sort of stuff. And then obviously there was the whole Rashford thing, and there was a lot of factors in Garnacho leaving, and I think every United fan knows it was the right time to move him on. Yeah. But like we just spoke about Salah being unprofessional, you can almost forgive Salah for what he's done for Liverpool. For Garnacho to go and be so arrogant about leaving Man United, which results-wise or not, is one of the biggest clubs in the world. For him to leave the way he did and refuse to train, refuse to go to pre-season, refuse to do any of it, and say he would stay on the bench for 12 months if he doesn't get to go to Chelsea. It makes my blood boil thinking about him. I actually hate him. And seeing that interview, like I said with Joshua Xerxes, punching my phone. It was brutal, man.
Well, you actually made a funny point earlier. Brothers as agents. You could do a whole episode on that, to be honest. Because there are some tits out there that have their brothers as agents.
It's terrible.
And them useless.
So useless.
But, look, I am really trying this time around to not be the emotional one and come out with ludicrous comments. I'm really trying. It's as unprofessional as it gets, really. Look, I understand things didn't end in a positive fashion. It didn't end in a positive fashion between the fans and Garnacho himself. I think Man United fans were just running sick of it. Yeah. By the time it all came to a head. I personally still think United should have got more money for him. Yeah. That's just my look.
The circumstances were never getting more than 40 million.
No.
He's worth it.
Yes.
When you look at the other transfers, especially like Bino Gittins and all them players who Chelsea signed for more money.
It's his name, Bino.
It is, yeah. Bino Gittins, like Bino that used to play for us. Yeah. I think it is Jamie Bino Gittins.
Is it? Yeah.
But he was like 60 million. Bino base.
That's class.
Oh, man. Yeah, he was like 60 million. And Garnacho went for 40 million. And then Madueke and all as well.
Yeah. Now, to be fair, like obviously Madueke is having a really strong season. He's looked very, very good. Gittins, him and Garnacho are rotating between each other. Like, it is funny. And again, I'm trying to be calm and measured, but it is funny that, Garnacho's laughing away in the pre-match press conference and all this crack. Like, how many minutes has he actually played for Chelsea? Like,
I know.
And when he has played, He's been
He's been
terrible.
pants. Yeah, absolute pants.
Absolutely terrible. Like, to be fair, the back end of his United career was not good.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm not just saying, I'm not being salty. Like, if you look at the performances, it was not good.
Yeah.
The man had no end product.
Yeah.
He'd beat a man and he'd get you up off your seat.
He's cutting inside and blasting it over
Oh,
the
lad,
bar
you'd
every
be
day.
so excited.
Yeah.
You're like, oh my God, yeah. And then next thing, the ball's in Rose's head.
Yeah,
You're like,
yeah. It was a guaranteed start.
yeah.
You know, I remember watching some of the matches with Dorman in Canada, and he'd be running up the left-hand side, and Dorman would say, he's going to cut in and lose the ball here.
Yeah.
It happened every time.
Every time.
Every time. So predictable.
Yeah. Last 6 months at United were not good.
Yeah.
Like,
And yet he was probably still the only creative spark we had.
exactly.
Shows how bad we were.
It does. Like, but I even remember, like, when Ahmad started to get more of an opportunity in the team, like, I was starting to look more fondly on Ahmad then. I was like, well, Ahmad's producing.
Yeah.
He's producing. Ahmad has the traits that Garnacho has, but the thing with Ahmad was, at that time especially, the ball was ending up in the net.
Yeah.
Or a picture-perfect ball was being put in. He was making the assist. Whereas with Garnacho in that last 6 months, he was doing everything up until the final pass, right?
Yeah.
And it was frustrating. You were frustrated watching him. I remember sitting watching him being like, this guy should be on like 15 Premier League goals this season. But I think last season he finished up with 6 or 7.
Terrible.
Like, it was so frustrating to watch him.
Yeah.
And then whenever it all started to come out that he was looking to leave, and after the Europa League final, like, I'm not going to lie, I did hit crisis mode a wee bit, because I thought, you know, this is a player, you know, if you look at what United have lost in the last few years, youth player-wise, Garnacho, who we all thought was going to be a superstar, Mason Greenwood, who we all thought was going to be a superstar,
Marcus Rashford,
born and bred, Mank, United
you could even
supporter.
go as far as James Garner.
Yeah, you could.
I thought James Garner was going to get a real shot under Ten Hag.
You could.
And he was shipped off there.
And he was shipped.
And he's a proper footballer.
He's a capable Premier League footballer now.
He's a proper footballer.
So, to me, it just felt like another situation.
Actual Tuanzebe.
It just didn't quite work out for Tuanzebe.
I loved him too.
So did I. Do you remember that night he pocketed Mbappe?
Never forget it.
Unbelievable.
Never forget. Nice.
Unbelievable.
Nice pocketing everybody in Turf Moor.
What a player.
Yeah.
What a player. Timothy Fosu-Mensah.
Oh. Block me on Snapchat.
Did I?
Yeah, again. Block me in like 2018. Block me again. Prick.
But to me, it just felt like another situation where we were letting a promising academy player go, and it's going to be the same whenever Mainu inevitably leaves. It just feels like another academy prospect that we have turned around and said, nope, there's the door.
But do you know what? I look at Mainu, and I even look at Rashford. You know, Rashford really, really, really could have, in any of his interviews since going to Barcelona, or even Aston Villa at the time, threw United under the bus and said how they treated him like dirt and whatever. He really could have done that, and he hasn't. He's kept the utmost professionalism has been top notch from him. He's always kept respect for the club.
Yeah.
And, you know, he will go down as Manchester United legend. Trophies or not, he'll go down as Manchester United legend.
Big time.
100%.
He's the goal scoring record to prove it.
Yeah, I was right. And, you know, the fans, I don't think the fans necessarily turned on Rashford.
No.
I think they were frustrated with the performances.
Yeah.
And I think all of us kind of knew it was time for him to move on.
Yeah.
And I think it'll be the same when Kobe Mainoo leaves. And he is going to leave in January. And he's going to go on loan. But I don't think Kobe Mainoo's the type of player who's going to, you know, badmouth Manchester United. I think he's the type of player who's going to go on loan and come back to Manchester United.
Yeah.
I don't think Kobe Mainoo's long-term future is away from the club. And I know some of the legends are telling him to go. And you can understand that too. But I don't think his long-term future is away from the club. And, you know, anybody can say whatever they want to say about the manager. Anybody can say that. But no matter what, I think Kobe Mainoo's going to outlast Ruben Amorim at Manchester United.
I mean, it's a very strong possibility.
Do you know?
Very strong possibility.
And I like the manager.
I'm not sold on him. Not sold on him. But I think we'll save that for another episode, to be honest with you. But look, I totally agree with you. I think what Garnacho did was wholly unprofessional.
Yeah.
But again, he's that type of character.
Yeah. He's got an ego.
He's not a nice guy.
No, he's not.
In fact, I think, and again, sorry for swearing, I think he is a bit of a prick.
Yeah.
But
he's a rat, like.
Yeah.
Like, I know all the United fans are calling him a rat, but he is a rat. Same way Diego Costa was a rat.
Yeah.
You hated playing against him.
Yeah.
But at least Diego Costa was backing it up.
Yeah.
Diego Costa was starting every game for Chelsea, scoring every goal for Chelsea. He was unbelievable. Luis Suarez was a rat, and he's still a rat, but he was an unbelievable forward and backed it up.
Yeah.
You know, since this interview, I seen Garnacho on Twitter getting, you know, hate from his own fans, from Chelsea fans, saying, "You've done nothing on our shirt to warrant this arrogance." Like, I've literally seen people commenting underneath it being like, where's he getting this ego from when he's sitting on our bench?
Chelsea fans didn't want him.
They didn't want them.
They didn't want him.
Didn't want them.
They didn't want to buy another winger.
No.
It was like DJ Khaled, lad. Another one. Like, another winger brought into the club. They didn't want that. So, like, I understand their frustrations with it. But, look, again, he's just one of those players I think, maybe that's what he needs to get himself G'd up, lad. Maybe he needs to be a bit of a prick, bit of a maverick, bit of a rat. Maybe that's just the type of character that he is. Because I know, like, when he did play for United, rival fans hated him.
Yeah.
Like, he's one of those players, maybe it's his face or something.
Yeah, just hate playing against him.
Yeah, just hate him, don't like him. Like,
totally.
it's the same, like, you know, rival fans don't like Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah.
I don't like Andy Robertson.
Yeah.
Like, just, there are players around the league that you
I
look
get
at and
it.
you're just like, I can't stand you. I
They're
hate
rats.
you. Yeah.
And they're making bad people. Like, I'm not calling them a rat because I hate them. Apart from Garnacho, he's a rat. Like, they are rats. Like, it's just that type of footballer. It was James Milner as well.
Yeah.
I always
Hated
hated
him.
James
Yeah.
Milner.
Yeah.
Always hated him.
Absolutely.
But yeah, Garnacho, he's going to need to prove himself. You know, I look back on United playing Chelsea at Old Trafford, and he was warming up and warming up and warming up and warming up, and
the pelters of abuse he got was great to see.
it was unreal.
It was wonderful.
It was unreal. And all the comments beforehand, Uncle Casemiro's going to have your legs and all this here, and the abuse he got. And I think the manager was saying, have you got the balls to play on this pitch?
Yeah.
And he obviously wasn't convinced because he didn't play him. And I know that was early into his Chelsea career and he hadn't trained all summer or whatever. But I think that was a telltale moment. I think if he had come back to Maresca and says, throw me on here, I can handle this, we might be seeing a different Garnacho now. We might be seeing a Garnacho that started the majority of games.
Possibly.
I think now he's got a bit of confidence from wherever. I don't know how he's got a bit of confidence, but he's got a bit of confidence, obviously, and a bit of arrogance. I think we will see him a bit more towards the end of the season. But I'm looking forward to that Chelsea and United reunion at Stamford Bridge to see what reception he gets.
So am I. And again, especially considering they're literally right beside each other in the Premier League table, you know, who knows what's going to happen when we go to Stamford Bridge? Will it be as close? Who knows? But it's certainly it's an interesting situation. It's like you said, where does the confidence come from?
Yeah.
His brother probably is
literally
talking shit in his ear and telling him what he wants to hear, whispering sweet nothings.
Sweet nothings, man.
You know?
But you look at them games, like you look at United playing West Ham.
Yeah.
And obviously Aaron Wan-Bissaka left United and went to West Ham. And there was a few occasions, you know, Wan-Bissaka and the United boys were throwing in tackles to each other. Wan-Bissaka probably should have got sent off, or he definitely should have got sent off. But, you know, it would always show Wan-Bissaka and whoever it was. I remember one instance, it was him and Bruno. And they were both laughing and joking with each other as they helped each other out. That's not going to happen with Alejandro Garnacho.
No way, lad.
If he gets taken out or if he takes somebody else out, there will be a brawl.
Uncle Casemiro
very
much will have his legs.
Totally, man.
But look, let us know in the comments, what do you think, Chelsea fans, United fans? What do we make of Garnacho? Is he a good guy? I would agree that he's probably not. But look, let us know in the comments. And now on to a very interesting section. We used to do things like this at the end of our previous podcasts. We actually sort of went away from it. And I'm glad that we're bringing
we shouldn't have.
sections like this back.
Yeah, we shouldn't have.
They're fun.
Yeah.
They are fun.
They're real fun. So basically, if you've seen our Instagram posts, we put up one of them games where you've got a tenner to spend, build your ultimate midfield.
We'll get it linked in the video.
Yeah,
so you can actually
we'll put it up in the video. You know, so you've got a tier list. You've got the elite midfielders, which are £5. You've got the semi-elite midfielders, which are £3, and then you've got brilliant midfielders who just aren't quite world class, or maybe just not world renowned at £2. You know, you can be the judge of that yourselves.
No, I think you were spot on with where you placed those players.
Do you think?
I really think
No,
you
I
were
wasn't
spot
far
on.
away. I wasn't far away.
I thought you were spot on.
So anyway, we'll put it up in the video, but I'll just read through it very quickly. So the £5 tier, we've got Zidane, we've got Keane, Vieira, Xavi, Modric, Gerrard, Lampard. For the £3, we've got Scholes, Kroos, Iniesta, Pirlo, Xabi Alonso, Yaya Toure, and Fabregas. And for the £2, we've got Rodri, Busquets, Kaká, Bruno, Pedri, De Bruyne, and Bellingham. So, Connor, you have £10 to spend. Give me your ultimate midfield. And you don't have to spend the £10. We seen the comments on TikTok that were saying, give me Bellingham, give me Busquets, give me De Bruyne, and give me 10 Fredos.
Fair play to them.
Do you know what I mean? Decent midfield, but
If I'm playing Amram system, I can buy two elite midfielders at a £5 a piece. But I'm going to stick with a midfield 3.
Yeah.
I think that's where the best balance is. But it's what do I want? Do I want a sitter and 2 creators? Do I want a sitter, a box-to-box, and a creator? It's actually quite tough, that one.
It's tough when you think about it.
Right, I'm going to say... Right, the obvious choice for me at £5 is Xavi. Xavi is one of my favourite footballers of all time. I don't think, out of all the midfielders on the list, I don't think there's a single better passer of the ball. Xavi can control a game for you. He'll take the sting out of a game for you. And he can break lines. When I look at the other midfielders in the £5 category here, Zidane's very much a box crasher. Keane and Vieira are all-round players. Keane was just as good going forward as he was getting back. Vieira, probably more of a powerhouse, a dominator. Modric, I think Modric and Xavi are very close passing ability-wise. Gerrard, again, he was a bit of everything. And Lampard, I don't think there's a better goal-getting midfielder in that £5 bracket. But for me, I'm going to go Xavi. He's going to play as one of my 8s. Then I'm going to knock it down to the £3 range. And again, this is tough. This is really tough. I'm going to go Scholes. I just think out of all of these players in the £3 list here, again, like, I love Pirlo. I love Yaya as well. Iniesta was such... See, Iniesta, especially in like the peak of his career, was more of like a left-sided player rather than a central midfielder.
Yeah, well, we're not talking about Yokohama
FC, yeah.
Iniesta, to be fair.
And then in the £2 category, right, I'm going to go Xavi. I'm going to go Paul Scholes. There's a reason I'm going to go Paul Scholes. If you watch interviews with a lot of these players, a lot of these top elite midfielders all talk about Paul Scholes, and there has to be a reason for that. There has to be a reason for that. You can call me biased all you want, but to me, in my time watching football, Man United have never had a midfielder like Paul Scholes. He's the best of the best.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to drop down to the £2 bracket, and I am going to finish off. I need a sitter. I need somebody who's a bit more defensively oriented. So it's between Rodri and Busquets, and it's which would you prefer? I think because I already have Xavi in the team, I'm going to go Busquets because they were perfect. To me, that midfield 3, that could have played for Barcelona. I think Paul Scholes very easily could have played for Barcelona.
100%.
Would not have looked out of place.
Yeah, no, sure. You see all them interviews like you were saying. Xavi and Iniesta said that they used to show videos of Paul Scholes.
Yeah.
In Barcelona training.
Yeah.
Like, that's how good the guy was.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, I can't argue too much for you there. And it's personal preference, of course, and whenever we put this up, we do hope you put into the comments what your best £10 midfield is. For me personally, I'm going to go with a box crosser. I want Zinedine Zidane.
You want Zidane?
And we were talking about rats there. Zinedine Zidane
is
a rat.
Absolute rat lad.
What a footballer, but he's a rat. And I want that type of player in my team, for sure, especially in midfield. And it was tough for me between Zidane and Keane. Yeah. Because I love Roy Keane. But yeah, I'm going Zinedine Zidane because he's going to get you goals.
100%.
You think about set pieces, his passing ability, mightn't be as good as Xavi, but that's why I'm going for Paul Scholes as well.
Yeah.
I'm going exactly the same as you for the 3 and 2. Paul Scholes and Sergio Busquets. Everything you said about Paul Scholes, I totally agree with. And with Sergio Busquets, I mind saying, I must get the quote, and who said it, but the quote was, if you watch the game, you won't see Busquets. But if you watch Busquets, you'll see the whole game.
Yeah, it's true.
And it's so true.
It is.
Like, now, this is going to be the most ridiculous thing I ever say, right? I'm not talking about... Right now, I'm about to talk about a personal instance, right? But obviously, I'm choosing Busquets as the Barcelona legend, the prime Busquets.
Yeah.
But I went to watch Inter Miami versus Vancouver Whitecaps. And obviously, Busquets played there. He just had his final game there, won the MLS Cup against Whitecaps anyway. But Whitecaps actually won the game that I was at. And I watched Busquets.
Yeah.
And he was unbelievable. You could see the three players, obviously Messi, Jordi Alba and Busquets, that they were the three elite players on the pitch.
Yeah.
Well, actually, Jordi Alba was pants. He was absolutely terrible.
Awful, was it?
Oh, terrible. But Busquets was the only man doing anything.
Yeah.
Everybody else just kind of looked disjointed.
Yeah.
And it looked like, get the ball to these three and just let them do whatever they want.
Yeah.
But in terms of controlling the midfield, in terms of controlling his passing, no pass misplaced, no pass overhit. And this is a 39, pushing 40-year-old Busquets.
Busquets, yeah.
And I know it's a different standard football, obviously. But just seeing that live in person, I was like, whoa, now this is a player. I can only imagine what it was like seeing him live. Obviously, we're watching him on TV and the heartbreaks of the Champions League finals, but I can only imagine what it was like watching him live.
You have to remember, a 37-year-old Sergio Busquets was keeping a 24-year-old Frankie de Jong out of a Barcelona team.
Unbelievable.
But most people, like when they think of an ideal midfield, they're going to want a sitter. Now, I think your midfield is probably smarter than mine because you have a goal-getting midfielder in there. As good as Scholes and Xavi.
You've got passing ability.
Yeah.
You've the chance creation.
Well, I need good forwards in that team. And again, over the next few weeks, we'll have a forwards edition and a defenders edition. But I think with what you've done there is you have the nice balance of metronome in Busquets, take the sting out of the game, get the tempo right. Scholes, who can spray balls across the pitch, probably feed the inside forwards. And then let's say you're playing with a big man up front. You're going to have Zidane just coming off, making late runs into the box, actually maybe pinning off the striker. I'd say your midfield is probably likely to win more games than mine is. If you need...
Well, if you want to watch silky football...
Well, look, if my team's 2-0 up...
Yeah. They're not losing.
They'll take the sting out of the game for sure.
For sure.
Like, they'll keep that ball for 50 minutes and the opposition will probably not get close to them.
Yeah.
But I would say they're both... I like that we went for two different ideals of midfield. I think that shows the difference, and especially when I saw the comments on the Instagram post as well. A lot of people have different ideas about how a midfield should be balanced and how it should work. Like, it's interesting. I'd actually love to know what an actual football manager's perspective is on something like that. Yeah. Like, if you gave Slot or Amarim £10, told them, right, there's your list, like, pick it. I'd love to know what they would go for. What
Amarim would pick Casemiro.
More than likely. But no, it is interesting, and I actually really enjoyed that post when it went up. It was great to see so many interactions on it. And look, if you haven't seen it, go and head to the Bottom Bins Instagram. We're literally just at the Bottom Bins. Go and give us a follow. Look at our recent content, especially the social media posts. There's definitely been a big difference this last 6 weeks.
It's going well.
In the content, we're getting a lot of visits to the page. It's about trying to turn those visits into followers now, which is the priority. But that is going to do it for this first episode back. Yeah. And it's been great. I've actually really enjoyed sitting down here and talking football again. Yeah. I definitely felt like it was missing from my life, to be honest. But look, plenty of exciting content coming for you guys. Definitely after Christmas is where we're going to be aiming to put a big push on. Make sure that you do go and follow our Facebook or our Instagram, like whatever platform you use the most. Just go and give us a like, give us a follow. Have a look at the content. You'll be pleasantly surprised at how in-depth, how good the content looks. And that's what we're aiming for. That's the standard that we are going to hopefully keep producing.
100% going to keep producing.
Over this next while. And yes, just about, look, we said it the last time that we come back, it was about trying to get back into the swing of things. Yeah. I don't feel like we need to say that this time because we're very much...
We're relaxed, we're more relaxed.
Yeah. But I feel like we've been in the swing of things for the last 3 or 4 weeks. Yeah. We just haven't sat down to do a video yet.
Yeah. Like I look at our posts, since we came back, 22nd of October was when the content started again. Yeah. And there's been at least one post every single day. Yeah. And that is going to continue. Every single day there's going to be at least one post on Instagram or Facebook, one of the two. Yeah, it's good to be back.
And you'll get at least one of these videos a week
Yeah.
as well, folks. Now, sometimes if something breaks, we might want to do a face to camera, but again, it's all time dependent. And we're, like we said, we're not stressing this time around. We're doing this again really for the fun of it.
Yeah.
And listen, if people watch, if people want to subscribe, happy days. If they don't, no skin off our back.
Exactly. Be kind, everybody. And as always, keep a bottom bent.
Keep a bottom bent. See you later.